What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we are going to be going over the Falcon 3.3 Adjustable Piggyback Shocks. I've had these on now for a few months, went through a lot of the different settings on them, so I feel like I have a good idea now on a review and how I feel about them. So I'm going to get into some pros and cons here and whether you should invest in these shocks. So let's get it going. Alright guys, so these are the Falcon 3.3 piggyback shocks here. They are adjustable, so they have 3 settings, 1, 2, and 3 here, and then on the second setting you also have micro adjustments here, 8 different micro adjustments. So very adjustable as the name says there. So lots of different settings. The first setting is a full soft setting, which actually is not too bad. I've actually really enjoyed that setting. The second is a little bit more firm, but also still kind of soft, if that makes sense. And you can adjust the softness and firmness right in these settings here. And the third one is firm. Now I've been running just around town here, the 2 setting on, I believe it's 2.4, no, 2.1. So 2.1 on this one, and I've been really enjoying the 2.1 around the city. So for highway driving, I don't know if any of you guys have noticed, but with the JKU and JKs in general, the wind can really sway you one way or another when you're going, above 60, 70 miles an hour. So setting 3, the firm setting, has been phenomenal with negating that and making it a little bit less swayy on the highway. So I've been running 3 when I'm on the highway, which has been phenomenal. There's literally barely any sway whatsoever, even on a very windy day. So the 3 setting has been surprisingly more used than I thought it was going to be for me, because I'm not really big on firm shocks, but the 3 setting has been great on the highway, so also really like the setting on 3 as well. Alright guys, so let's get into the pros first. So pro number 1, obviously, is that these are adjustable. So you can adjust them to your driving style, to the terrain, to multiple different environments. So that's what's really nice about these shocks, is the adjustability. With the monotube, of course, they're just generally valved to be okay or good in all areas. Whereas with the adjustable shocks, and Falcon in specific here, they are specifically valved for each corner of the JKU, which is phenomenal. I'm telling you, they ride amazing. So that's been really big for me, is being able to adjust in different terrains, also different driving styles. So on the highway, in the city, just if I'm in a very pothole ridden area, I can put it on the soft setting. It's just phenomenal to be able to adjust it, not have to worry about anything along those lines as far as not being good in one area but being great in one. I can adjust it however I'd like it. And pro number 2 has got to be the difference between each setting. It is very noticeable. So in the past, I've ran the Rancho 9000 XLs, and they have 9 different settings. And to be honest, didn't really notice much of a difference between each setting. Between 1 and 9, there was a little bit of a difference, but in between, didn't really notice a whole lot. Whereas this one, 1, 2, and 3 are significantly different in the driving style, riding style, all that. And then also you have the micro adjustments on setting 2. So lots of adjustability, and you can really feel it in these shocks. It's not like any of the other shocks I've ever had on my Jeep. So I have really enjoyed the adjustability on these and the difference between each setting. For pro number 3 here, I've got to go with the construction of the shock. So these are built very similarly to the Fox as well as the King shock. So they have a very large shaft, no pun intended there, very large shaft here, so super strong. The body is super strong as well, feels very similar to the Fox shocks I had previously. So very strong construction. All these parts are such great quality, and watching the YouTube videos of these being built, it just gives you another sense of pride in running these, because they are built so well. They're built here in the USA, so very strong quality. They stand behind their stuff, and these are going to last for a very long time. Pro number 4 has got to be the external reservoirs, and what really nice about these external reservoirs is they're going to help the shock to run a lot cooler. So they have a lot more fluid in there, which is going to help the shock from overheating and all that fluid from getting hot, which is really nice, because at the end of the day, your shock is not going to ride like crap. You know, you're going to have a very nice riding shock all through the day, whether you're off-roading or on the highway or whatever you're doing. It's going to help this shock to last longer as well as ride better, because it's not going to be running as hot as a monotube shock would. So that's a big pro right there, and something you are going to pay a premium for. All right, now for the cons, and there's not many. I'll just say it up front, there's not many. But the first one, it's got to be the cost. These are going to be an expensive shock. They're going to be a premium cost because you're getting specifically valve shocks for the JKU, or whatever vehicle you're buying them for. They're specifically valved for the vehicle. There's been extensive testing on them. You get an external reservoir, you get adjustability, you get so many features with these shocks along with the quality of them. So the premium is well worth it in my opinion, but it is a con because these are going to run really high on the price scale. But again, I would say they're 100% worth it. I have enjoyed every minute of these shocks and being able to adjust them, but it is a con because you're going to spend a pretty penny on these shocks. All right, so for con number 2, and this one's a little bit far-fetched, but for some people this might be true. So it might have too much adjustability for some people. So that would be a con. Because I mean, you look at this, you look at all the different adjustments that you can make and all the different ride qualities that you're going to get with each setting. It may be intimidating to some people, and some people might not enjoy having all that. You know, I know a lot of people that do enjoy having one shock that's good in all areas versus being able to really fine tune them. So that may be a con for some people, so I had to list that here as a con. There's a lot of different settings on these, but if you know what you're doing, if you really take the time to test it and test each setting, see what you love, honestly, you're not going to have this as a con. So it is a con for some people, but I'm telling you, if you really take the time, these are well worth it. Each setting really is a big difference, and you will enjoy these shocks. Now, one thing I do not have yet that I do recommend with these shocks that I'm going to be getting here in the next month or so is going to be skids for the rear. So let me show you that real quick. So looking at these, very exposed. They do sell 2 different types of skids for these. One is one that you're going to weld on or drill and bolt on. The other one is just basically a bolt-on, but you do have to drill one hole. I'm probably going to go with the one that's basically bolt-on because I don't want to have to weld it or drill a ton of holes into this already thin bracket. So I'll probably just go with the bolt-on one, but definitely recommend a skid. It's very unprotected down here, and while the shock body is very strong, it's not worth it to risk this big investment that you just made into these shocks. So I would definitely recommend skid plates as well for the rear. All right, guys, so to wrap this up, would I buy these shocks again? And that is a resounding yes. I would 100% buy these shocks again. I have been extremely happy with these. I've run multiple different shocks on the Jeeps I've had in the past. I've ran the Rancho 9000 XLs. I've ran the Fox 2.0s. I've ran Rough Country before. So I've ran a bunch of different brands. I've never been completely satisfied with any of those brands. Like I love the Fox shocks. They were great. They performed great, but there was something missing in those, and it was the adjustability. So with these Falcons, knowing that they have all the hours of testing, all the different adjustments that you can make for the ride style, the terrain, all of that is well worth it in my opinion to buy these shocks, because you are getting a premium shock for your Jeep. It's going to ride a lot better, and you're going to have adjustability to be able to fine tune that as well. So if you like a soft ride, you can have it on this. If you like a firm ride, you can have it on this. If you like it in the middle, you can also have it on this. So lots of different adjustability. It's well worth it in my opinion. Even if you don't go with the Falcon, the adjustable shocks are well worth it. So I would recommend going with the Falcon just because of all the testing and how each corner is specifically tuned for the JKU. So I would recommend the Falcon, but again, guys, I would 100% buy these shocks again. Definitely recommend them to you guys as well, despite the premium cost. It's well worth it. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Please drop a like and a comment below. If you have any questions, drop them below as well. I'd be glad to answer them. And also in the comment section, put there what you'd like to see next. You know, what else would you like to see on this Jeep? Any reviews, anything like that. I'd love to hear from you guys on what you guys would like to see next, because I have installed a lot of different stuff. I've got the fenders on here. Just a lot of different stuff in general, the sliders, all of that. So if you guys would like to see a review or a video that you want to see on this channel, please drop it below. I would be glad to do it for you guys. So again, that's going to do it, guys. Please drop a like and a comment, and thanks for watching.